Even through technical difficulties, that will not stop us from making great content. And we're here with two of the best guys I know to talk about the best game in the world, football, the National Football League. Brad Finn, Jacob Unger. Welcome back to the Productive Conversations podcast. Thanks for joining me to reflect on last night's insane Super Bowl and the insane season we just had. What's going on, guys?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
All right. How you doing, Brad?
Doing good. I don't know too much about football, but I'm gonna do my best. Tom Brady's the GOAT. That's all I gotta say.
Well, that's all we need, man. As long as you're a football fan, that's all you need for here. But let's start. Last night, guys, Super Bowl 55. One for the ages? I don't know. It's up to you. But with a 31-9 deficit with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on top, which leads to Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl, which leads to the Bucs' 2nd all-time, but which leads to the slaying and momentum killing of Patrick Mahomes. A lot of crazy things happened in last night's Super Bowl. Why don't we go with Brad, who said Tom Brady is the GOAT? What did you think of last night's game and your boys' big accomplishment?
I think that before the game, I envisioned Brady handing the torch off to Mahomes, but after watching last night, I don't think anyone's ever gonna catch the GOAT.
Yeah, I would say that. How do you feel about last night's game, Plunger?
Well, yeah, Tom Brady, definitely the GOAT. He did not look his age last night. Definitely played a great game. The Chiefs just seemed dead from the start. They seemed like they didn't have the energy to match the Bucs from the very first drive. So, yeah, when it kind of started that way, I had a feeling it was going to get ugly and develop into something worse. Yeah, that pass rush of the Bucs is no joke right there.
Oh, yes. And the Chiefs had two of their starting tackles missing. And, well, I think going into last night's game, we thought, even with the injuries, that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes was so good that he'd be able to still overcome that obstacle. Yet, he was sacked 3 times, over 22 plays being pressured. He was scrambling all over the place. And it looked like that was a result of missing an offensive line, and it just shows how important the offensive line is. But despite this loss, and a really tough loss, only scoring 9 points, not 1 touchdown, do you guys think the Chiefs are still legit? Do you think coming into next year that they'll be able to still be as good as they were last year, reflect on their 14-win season? Do you think the Chiefs are still legit even after the embarrassing loss yesterday?
Yeah, I'd say I still think they're legit. Not having your O-line is one of the biggest losses you could have, especially going up against the front seven like the Bucs. Players like Shaquille Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Devin White.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some serious players on that front seven. So I think, I'm not saying that the Chiefs have won, but with their O-line, they're missing their 2 tackles and one of their guards. So, yeah, I think with the line, the game might have looked a little bit different, maybe a little more competitive. But yeah, I think that it could be very easily, you could very easily have an overreaction from last night's game. But Mahomes is still elite. Even though he didn't score, some of the throws he made were still incredible. So I think it was just a bad night for the Chiefs. They just didn't seem like they were ready for the Bucs energy. But I think they should bounce back fine next season.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Brad? How do you think the Chiefs are still going to be the team to beat? I think they were. Vegas already put them as the favorite to win next year. Do you think they deserve that?
Yeah, I would say so. I think Mahomes is the best QB in the NFL, one of the best. I think the Chiefs are going to be the best team in the league for, however many more years, like as long as Mahomes is a QB there. So, once Brady's done, it's just going to be Mahomes running the league. So,
yeah. And, you made a good point, Plunger, that now with Brady getting that 7th ring, and if Mahomes is as good as they projected, he still has to win 6 more. We know how hard it is, even going back to back. But like I think Tony Romo said in the game that you'll need to at least get into eight more after this. So It's going to be a
Can we
good
just talk
time.
about Tony Romo? Because he was on fire yesterday with the commentary. I know there was
Yeah.
one commercial with like the scan the Pepsi, and he was just like, "Oh, well, that seems like a lot of work." Like, it was just going against all the promotions they were putting out for the Super Bowl, and I thought it was funny
Oh, yeah. I
listening
mean,
to Tony Romo. He sounded like just like your true like old man that has no idea what's going on around him, and he's not even an old man, so I thought it was great.
he's the best color commentator in the game, and he earned all that money. That I think 22 mil a season, so that's pretty much $1 million a game
John
around there.
Madden's better.
Oh yes, from long ago, but hey, I think he's a good replacement for it. But despite his little droplet malfunction, if anyone noticed or heard about it, I think he just made up for it from his excitement and stuff. But yeah, shouts to
What
Tony.
droplet malfunction?
Well, if you could see, it looks like he may have been rushing in the bathroom. It looks like a little piss stain in that area, but
Wait, what?
Wasn't
happens
his
to
A
all of
game
us.
yesterday? It wasn't his A game yesterday.
Yeah,
Tony Romo wet his pants yesterday? He forgot to
well,
shake it off?
I guess so. We'll just say shake it off. But it happens to the best of us. But
Super
he
Bowl
still did a
pressure,
great game.
even gets to the commentators.
Finally made the
Dang.
Super Bowl after all those years for Mr. Romo. But yeah, what a game. And just my last comment on the Super Bowl again. You guys said it. Tom Brady, the GOAT. He just it really is amazing. He just switched teams, he switches conferences and wins the whole thing after that. And what do you guys think at the end of the day that you haven't said already? Like, is Tom Brady the best athlete we'll ever see? This is all sports. Is he more impactful than LeBron and Jordan? Is he better than Ruth? Are you guys going to remember Tom Brady as just that special one? Like how the generation before us loves Jordan, is now Tom Brady our guy who you respect. I know that Plungy, you're a Jets fan, so maybe you forgive him now. And then Brad's a Patriot fan, and he said how much he loved him. So how do you guys think at the end of the day what is Tom Brady's true legacy?
Brad, you go first. I'm having a hard time to really just come up with that's a tough question right there.
All right, so I'm gonna say Tom Brady's the GOAT, and people that say LeBron have to realize that LeBron really only has maybe one legitimate ring. I think in 2007 he was swept.
Mhm.
He choked in 2011. Young OKC team in 2012. So I would say 0 legitimate rings, maybe 1 for LeBron. For anyone that says LeBron is the athlete. So I'm going with Brady on that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I have a hard time just comparing the sports. When we're talking about football, if anyone doesn't put Tom Brady's name in as the GOAT, coming from a Jet fan, they're crazy, because no one's gonna have someone can have the career he has, but no one has yet, and it's gonna be very hard to replicate that. Basketball, Michael Jordan is who I look at as the GOAT over LeBron. There's just, especially of this generation that we grew up in, there's just so many, Kobe, LeBron, all those guys of the world, basketball, baseball, you could look at a guy like Jeter, maybe, there's just so many players that you could look at. That's why I struggle to, kind of compare the sports, but, Tom Brady is definitely in the conversation. And for football wise, I don't know how you could argue anyone else being the GOAT other than him.
Yeah, you're just straight up ignorant if you don't. When you have more Super Bowls than every single franchise in the NFL, I think that speaks for itself. He's done it through comebacks. He's done it with all different types of receivers at tight ends, all different types of lines, all different types of coaches, and now all different types of franchises. Tom Brady is someone special. And what can I say? You're just straight up ignorant if you don't feel that. So I say we'll enjoy him while we can, and he's definitely come back next year, and we'll see how much longer he pushes it. So I'm going to transition to that, talk about some of the cool, reflecting on the whole season. Isn't it crazy, guys, how there was a whole season in general, even in COVID, we were still able to crowd a Super Bowl champion. What do you guys just think of that? Like when you reflect on the COVID season, what are you gonna remember about it?
Well, number one thing I'll remember is just not watching my team on Sundays because they couldn't win to save their lives. But yeah, I think
and you're a Jets fan for anyone doesn't remember.
And a Jet fan, yeah. So hopefully, the future's bright. Yeah, but my main takeaway of the season, just thinking of coming out of quarantine and the sports world being stopped, and then the NBA bubble and MLB were the first two to come back. But football is really that sport that America kind of just rallies behind, and everyone could get behind, and everyone's watching the Super Bowl and going to Super Bowl parties. So, seeing all the sports come back, but seeing football on TV was definitely the most refreshing. And to see that they had games canceled every here and there, rescheduled on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Those were awesome. Nights I had nothing for unusual football nights. So honestly, I could say despite not being able to go attend any games, it was definitely a special season to watch as a fan.
I hear that. What do you think of this year, Brad?
It was a strange year for sure. I think that if Cam Newton wasn't out with COVID, the Patriots probably would have made the AFC Championship at least, and probably beat Mahomes. I think that it had a big impact on Cam Newton and the Patriots. But I think that next year Bill Belichick's going to win the Super Bowl and prove that he's actually the GOAT of coaching, and it wasn't all Brady. So yeah, I definitely think it was a strange season, but it's nice to see us have some fans there for the Super Bowl. That was pretty nice to see.
Yeah, I
more onto the field in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Or what? Visionary Pictures, the porn website. That's how that guy was advertising it.
I with COVID and everything, I can only imagine that the punishments for doing that is way more extreme.
Right. Yo, one thing, Brad, you said that even that Bill Belichick's still the coach GOAT, which I still think everyone can agree, even though it is pretty daunting that Brady leaves and he runs right away. But you do make a good point that they didn't have Cam Newton for a full season, but it doesn't seem like they're bringing him back. What do you think the Patriots should do? Do you think they should bring Newton back? Is it time to draft a new quarterback? Is it time to get one of the many available quarterbacks around? What
do
Sam
you Darnold
think?
Yeah, I would say we're gonna trade for Deshaun Watson pretty soon, and then trade a bunch of picks probably for like maybe like a Stephon Diggs, but we'll be back. We'll be.
I mean, that's asking a lot, but I mean, why not? It seems moving around. I appreciate the confidence, and you chuckle with that, Jake. Jacob, what else do you have to add with that?
I mean, I'll never doubt Bill Belichick just because this year was bad. I do agree with Brad saying that I think the Patriots probably would have made the playoffs if it weren't for the Cam Newton COVID thing, because I just remember that Seahawks Sunday night game where Cam Newton absolutely balled out on the Seahawks, and then after he had COVID, he never had a performance like that again. So I could agree with that statement, definitely. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting offseason. A lot of big receivers on the market, all these QBs available for trade. Stafford was the first to go. So I think there's going to be a lot of big news. It's going to be one of the more exciting off seasons in the past few years.
Yeah, hitting that. So we talked about briefly Deshaun Watson. But Plunger, you're a Jets fan, and
Yeah.
it was often discussed that Deshaun Watson, a great landing spot for him would be the Jets, because the Jets have a lot of cap space. They can trade their second pick, and they still have another first round pick that they can include in this monster deal to bring the quarterback in. Even though the Houston Texans at the moment said they're not trading him, but also the Rockets said they weren't trading Harden, and we know what happened. So I definitely think that Watson is being moved. But are you all in? Do you want Deshaun by Darnold? What do you think?
So I've probably had this conversation with people, or argument, rant, whatever you want to call it, at least 50 times this week. I personally think that it's Deshaun Watson or Darnold next year for the Jets. I wouldn't go with one of the rookies. If you're going to go with the rookie, you might as well go with Darnold, who's actually played in the league already and is just as young as those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Darnold's younger than Joe Burrow, just to put in perspective. So he's still got a future. He's still got a chance. I think they need to give him some weapons. If they do trade for Deshaun Watson, I'd be super happy. I would just, my only thing that I hope is that they don't ruin their future by giving away too many draft picks. So I think, like 3 draft picks and maybe like a player, or 3 first rounders, and then like, another few draft picks or whatever. But if there's more than 3 draft picks, I'll get a little nervous, because we do have the 2 from the Seahawks, but when you keep giving away your draft picks, it's tough to build for the future and get that homegrown talent on your team that you need, that all the successful teams have in the league.
Yeah, so you would vote the way to still continue to build the ground up, and maybe we don't need Deshaun.
I would go with Deshaun, because Deshaun is,
Okay.
An elite quarterback, and with the roster the Jets have, they go up with him, regardless of what's around him. But if it's not Watson, Watson's my number 1. If it's not Watson, it's Darnold for me. I don't want to see anyone under quarterback that isn't Watson or Darnold personally. I just don't think it's worth to draft a QB at second round when you could instead build around the QB.
Yeah, and they finally get rid of the Gase problem.
Yeah, thank God.
It seems that it was always said that the Gase personnel and him ruined Darnold, and now you, with Saleh coming in, bringing in Mike LaFleur from the great coordinator
Like him a lot.
down from San Fran as well. So you're excited for Saleh as a Jets fan?
Yeah.
Do you think this is he the one that at least will get you out of your big playoff drought? Haven't been in the playoffs since 2011.
If it's not him, I don't know who will do it personally. I think that if it's not him, the franchise is in trouble. I mean, they're already in trouble, but I mean, he's just a brilliant mind. The players are all going to rally behind him. You got a good coaching staff coming in behind him. If he can't win as a Jet fan, I'm nervous for any other coach, because he was said to be the best candidate this offseason and the guy to get. So if the guy to get can't win us games, then who will?
I hear you, bro. So that's how I feel, man. And when it comes to my Giants, I've definitely ranted a few times on this podcast about them, but I think next year we can keep working on that line, get some offensive weapons. That's what I really hope for. Need some new receivers and such. And, we were just even in the shitty NFC season we're just a game away from clinching a playoff berth and winning the division. But I think this will be Daniel Jones's last run at it. If he's not doing it shit this year, it's time to look at what else is out there. And yeah, you think have any nice positive words about my Giants, if anything?
Joe Judge
is the homie. What do you think, Brad? You, as a closeted Giants fan, just kidding. But you believe in Daniel Jones? You believe in this team?
I think that New York sports teams, especially the Yankees, Knicks, and Giants, are so overhyped every year that Giants fans should just accept that the Giants suck, and that Yankees fans, that the Yankees just are never going to be the team you guys want them to be. They're probably just never going to win a World Series again. I think they're cursed. I think the Red Sox are a lot better. But yeah, I think Daniel Jones has some potential though.
Well, we'll leave the baseball stuff for later, but Yankees are definitely winning the World Series this year, so time. I understand the Knicks too, even though getting D Rose gets you hyped, because now we'll win 21 games instead of 20. So, but regarding the Giants, yeah, I think Daniel Jones needs to have a career year. He needs to throw 3,000 yards. He needs to have 20 touchdowns. He needs to stop turnovering the ball. And then we'll have Saquon back. And then in a deep receivers draft, I think we can find that special weapon for him.
I do like Slayton. I like Darius Slayton a lot.
Oh, yes, I do too. He was coming in hot. He did fall off a little bit towards the end of the season, but he can be legit, has good hands. I've seen.
Need some help on the other side.
Yeah, we need to get rid of those old guys. Golden Tate is not shit. Sterling Shepard, it's time for him to go.
Yep.
Evan Ingram, I don't know what the hell is his problem with all the drops he has and the headaches
he can't
given.
Get together.
So, but he's somehow an all-pro. But the defense doesn't really need much changing with the stellar secondary. We could use another pass rusher next to Derek Lord, guys like that. But yeah, the Giants, I think, are excited. And most of all, we have Joe Judge, who's just a badass motherfucker as our coach. Man, love Joe Judge. So one of the things you mentioned, Pludger, is all the huge offseason moves that are probably about to happen. We've seen Matt Stafford and Jared Goff trade places. Goff go to Detroit, Stafford go to LA. First hitting that one. Do you think that Matt Stafford is going to lead the Rams to success? Brad, you live in LA. Do people care? Are they hyped or nah? What do you think?
I don't know. I think that he's probably better than Goff, right? So, we'll see. The Rams have a pretty solid team, but I don't know. I guess Jared Goff really wasn't that good after all.
Right. What do you think, Plunger?
I mean, yeah, you better win there. They're a pretty loaded team. They got just about everything they need. So I feel bad for Jared Goff because he went from a dominant, pretty good team like the Rams to the Lions to full-blown rebuild mode. So I know the ending between him and McVay wasn't too pretty from what I've heard. So as McVay said, I have fun in Detroit then, bud. And but yeah, I think Stafford's a pretty underrated QB. So with the team that he's on, I think they're a real threat to do some damage.
Him and Blake Griffin have to be boys. You go from the LA lifestyle to the Detroit one. Not that there's anything wrong with Detroit, but
it's not LA.
Yeah, right.
Brad, have you seen that new stadium?
SoFi Stadium? Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty sick. They have like the whole roof is like a TV screen.
Hell yeah. You been in there?
No, I don't think anyone's been in there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Whoops. But you about to be in there one day?
I hope so. That'd be cool.
Performing live.
It does look sick. It really does. And man, it's gonna be insane. What do you guys think is gonna happen with Carson Wentz? You think he's definitely getting traded. Where do you think he's gonna go?
I think he's so overrated, it's crazy. But I don't even know, dude. I don't know who the hell would want him. Like, I just seriously never thought he's good. Like, I mean, he had that one good year before he got injured, and then Foles came in and made it look like, yeah, anyone could be good with this team. So I don't know. I when he got drafted, I didn't think he was good. I still don't think he's good. I mean, maybe a team like the Washington football team, the 49ers, someone like that that's looking for a nice younger QB. He's still on the younger side, but so I know the Jets won't go for him, but if I saw something like that on my team, I would not be the happiest.
Right. Yo, man. Brad, do you have any expert predictions of where Wentz is going? You guys have the same haircut?
No, I don't really have any expert predictions on this one.
All right. So I say, yeah, it seems the 49ers would make a lot of sense. I actually thought Stafford was going to go to San Fran, but they're going to go see if Wentz is pretty legit. And looks like they are going to go with Jalen Hurts at Philly. So some other storylines come in and talk about this. Do you guys think the Packers are legit? Do you think the Packers coming so close again, losing by 5, tough NFC championship, but now the newly engaged MVP Aaron Rodgers, do you think he has any hope, whether next year or the next few years? Do you think he could win his second Super Bowl, or do you think it's just not going to happen with him? We'll start with Brad with this one.
With Aaron Rodgers, I think he's pretty good. I think he just needs to go to a different team. I think that he should go to a team like the Patriots where he'll win right away. Probably win like 3 straight. He's pretty young too, so he's got like a lot of years left in the NFL.
Yeah, he's 37. He can still hold, and we're seeing quarterbacks continuing to stay. So I think so. What do you think, Plunger?
He definitely unlocked a new level this year when they drafted Jordan Love. Anywhere that Aaron Rodgers is, will be a winning team and a playoff team as long as he stays healthy. Yeah, I think the Packers are another team that could just use a few more weapons. Other than Devontae Adams, I know Aaron Jones is an upcoming free agent. Yeah, I think they could just use a little more retooling. Their defense has some nice pieces on it. But yeah, I don't think they're too far off from another Super Bowl run. Especially with if Aaron Rodgers keeps playing the way he did this past season, they'll be a contender. They'll be a contender. Period.
Sweet. That's what I think. I think Rodgers. I love Rodgers a lot. I think he can win one more in him. Even though with Tom Brady, still you can never count him out. But I think if it's not Tom Brady, I think the NFC's guy is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Who do you guys think was the best rookie that played this year? I say Justin Jeffries from the Vikings, just stepping in for
Jefferson.
Yes, Justin Jefferson hops in, replaces Stephon Diggs, and he even makes Kirk Cousins look like a legit quarterback. That's who I go with.
Yeah, it's impressive to make Kirk Cousins look like a legit quarterback.
Right.
I'd go. I know he didn't have the MVP or the Rookie of the Year season, and he got hurt at the end. But Joe Burrow, I think, showed that he could be a fantastic pro. I also like Clyde Edwards-Helaire a lot from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He's a little banged up in the playoffs, but he runs tough. I like the way he plays, so I'll go CH there.
All right. Who'd you like on the rookie side, Brad?
I think Ben Simmons is the Rookie of the Year.
Ben Simmons, and I might have missed him, but who's he play for?
Philadelphia Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
QB1.
He's getting he's better than the other Ben Simmons I know. So, all right, shouts to Ben Simmons for the Eagles. You get that? Could maybe catch the ball in threes. All right. Anyways, let me ask one thing too. Who do you think is more impactful showing MVP? We know Rodgers won it, but a lot of people made the argument for Derrick Henry. 2,000. I think he's only the 8th running back to have 2,000 yards in a season. Who do you think made more of an impact, Rodgers or Derrick Henry?
Rodgers, I guess. He's quarterback, so he kind of just had more control over it. But yeah, I'll go Rodgers. He was just on a different level this year. He was making throws that I don't know how they were even possible. But yeah, I'll go Rodgers.
Okay. So, Brad, you have anything else to add with that too, or Miss Kitty? Who would you rather have, Derrick Henry or Aaron Rodgers?
I would probably say Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm. Because
he does it all by himself. I think that Rodgers needs some receivers. Just give Derrick Henry the ball, let him score hella touchdowns. What has he got, like 20 touchdowns or something?
Yeah, just about around.
Does he?
I could double check real quick, but
that's more than Cam Newton. That's like triple the amount of Cam Newton.
Yeah, the final one this season was 17.
Dang, that's a lot.
But hey, man, that's pretty legit. So I think Derrick Henry's the best running back we've ever seen. He's more reliable than the wide receivers. In his own, his wide receivers are great. All right, I should rephrase that. So if it's a 3-10, I think you could pass it off to Derrick Henry. He can run it in. That's how impactful. We've seen the Steph arms and all these, and it's pretty legit. So it's going to be a great time for sure. So shouts to that. So yeah, what do you guys say was your favorite game or moments this year? Like it for me, you were saying,
all those like Tuesday, Wednesday night COVID cancellation games. Like there was nothing that hyped me up more than being like, all right, it's a Tuesday, but we got football tonight. Like I don't need to just go and play Xbox. Like I could sit and watch some football, crack a beer and just enjoy myself. So every week that they had the COVID cancellations for a game, I was hyped because I knew that I'd get a Tuesday or Wednesday night game and then another night of football that I wouldn't normally be getting.
Yeah, I vote for that. It was great to see have full weeks of football over there on those random Tuesday and Wednesday games. Like the Chiefs and Bills had a classic out of Tuesday night. That was fun and stuff.
Yeah, I love those all year long. I hope they do those like randomly when COVID's done because I was always hyped for those games.
It definitely has my vote. What would you say, Brad?
Favorite game?
Or moments like, oh, it was the cool stuff you saw.
I don't know. Just I think Tyreek Hill. He was putting on hella highlights this year. He was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just everything he was doing was pretty crazy.
And I guess that was one of the big keys to victory for the Bucs to win was having him be almost disappear. I think he only had around 50 yards and 5 receptions, and it just shows again how important that line is. And my favorite game would have to be, bias aside, with the Giants beating the Eagles finally for the first time in a long time, and we beat the Cowboys this year too. So, but probably my other favorite moment is DeAndre Hopkins, the Hail Mary against the Bills, and he had three guys on him, 2 of them all pro defensive backs, and he still made the catch and won, and that won me fantasy literally 1 week. And what a good time that is. So probably my final question and final subject to bring up regarding the NFL guys is what would you say is the Super Bowl next year? Early predictions. We can have this on record, see if you're right. I'm gonna say the Buffalo Bills are gonna win the AFC. I think that they're gonna be stepping up the right direction with Allen and pretty underrated offensive line, and Diggs showed what's up. And John Brown's pretty good. Maybe add another weapon in there. So we're gonna go with the Bills winning the AFC, and I think I'm gonna go with Rodgers is somehow gonna get one more weapon to bring it full circle. And what my prediction for the Super Bowl was this year, I'm gonna bring it back next year for 2021. So Bills Packers Super Bowl with me. Brad, what do you think is the Super Bowl next year?
I'm gonna say Patriots against Tampa in the Super Bowl. It's gonna be Belichick against Brady. Both out to prove who the real champ is, and it's gonna be Deshaun Watson against Brady in the Super Bowl next year.
All right, pretty legit. What would you say, Plunger?
I'm gonna go. I think the Chiefs will be back in it. I think right now the Chiefs, it's their conference to lose. Until someone proves that they could do it, I think they'll keep doing it. In the NFC, you go bold, even though their quarterback screwed my fantasy season this year, and go with the Seahawks. There's a talented offense, and I think that this offseason they know what they need to work on, and that's their defense. So I'll go with Seahawks and Chiefs.
Can't forget
Pretty
that.
bold, but yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. But yo, guys, it's I think that covers all that we need to today. It was a great NFL season. Thank you guys for taking the time to come in, and even with our technical issues, we overcame it. And I really enjoy talking with you guys. And thank you for the good times. But you have any other things to say before we sign off?
Just ready for next season.
Yep. Thanks for having me and Jacob on, and regardless of the technical difficulties,
hell yeah,
talk some good football, talk some really good football.
Yeah, always down to come on.
We got a lot of good things to look forward to, guys, with that. But thank you, guys. 2 of my favorite people in this world. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Have a good night.